headquarters. Good afternoon, Rita. Great to see you. Has he arrived?
Not yet, Grace. He has not arrived. We have no indication whether he will be coming or not. We understand he is not in town. He is at the coast, so we don't know if he will be making it. He is among those who have been summoned here today. Also expected is former Karachuonyo MP, James Rege. We are also expecting that close relatives of Governor Kiraitu Murungi will be interrogated, and that will be happening here at the Madison Insurance Plaza in Upper Hill, not at the EACC headquarters at Integrity Center, where most of the interrogations, that is where Kenyans are used to seeing the activity. We are told some fumigation is going on there, and so no activity is happening there. So we are keeping tabs here at the other EACC offices at Madison Insurance. For David Murathe, he has been linked to the Kilig Limited company. This is a company that was awarded a 4 billion shillings tender to supply 450,000 PPEs. One PPE at 9,000 shillings. That was the price then. The price now is down to 4,500 shillings. Murathe himself has denied those claims. He says he has no relation or connection whatsoever with the company, and so he will be shedding more light when he appears here. As for the former Karachuonyo MP, he didn't have any direct connection to one of the companies that was awarded a tender, but we understand that his company gave another company a loan, and the other company then went ahead to secure a tender to supply medical supplies for the fight against COVID-19. For Kiraitu Murungi's close relatives, we are told their company also secured a tender. Not quite sure how much that tender will be. We will also be waiting to hear details from the EACC or from the relatives themselves when and if they appear here today. It appears the EACC is sort of all out to ensure it has a report by mid this month. Remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta 10 days ago gave a notice to a 21-day ultimatum to investigative agencies to come up with a report on the multi-billion shillings KEMSA scam. It is now 11 days to go. The EACC, we understand, has interrogated 25 officials of KEMSA. We are also told 35 officials of companies which secured tenders have also been interrogated. A few minutes ago, about 20 minutes ago, arriving here at the Madison Insurance Plaza was Kiprono Kitoni. This is the national chairman, or the chairman of the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We are being told he is being interrogated as a person of interest. While we were still waiting here, some officials of KEMSA also arrived, and so Kenyans will be waiting to see and hear what happens in these investigations. There is that tag team that Kenyans and analysts have said has given sort of a renewed jig to the fight against corruption. The EACC boss, the DPP, the DCI, all expected to come up with a report by mid this month. Already the Senate, the National Assembly, they have been looking into the matter. Last week, the Senate summoned the suspended KEMSA boss, John Amanjari. He is one person who threw the ball back to the Ministry of Health, saying he was under pressure from Mutahi Kagwe, the CS, from Susan Mochache, the PS. And when they appeared before the National Assembly's Health Committee on Wednesday, Mutahi Kagwe and Susan Mochache threw the ball back to KEMSA, saying KEMSA, in fact, was just given an approval for 758 million shillings, but it went above board, procuring goods way above 5 billion shillings. They said KEMSA, the KEMSA CEO also bypassed the ministry to be able to pay the suppliers. KEMSA then sought funds from the National Treasury. It sought 5 billion shillings. The National Treasury referred KEMSA back to the Ministry of Health. And when KEMSA then went back to the Ministry of Health, wrote and asked for 2.9 billion shillings, but that was not all. It went ahead to ask the Ministry of Health to even convert funds, 6.7 billion shillings set aside for the universal health care, to give that to KEMSA so that KEMSA can be able to direct those funds to the COVID-19 fight. But Mutahi Kagwe, the health CS, said no, KEMSA is in its warehouse holding goods worth 6 billion shillings. He argued, his point of view was that KEMSA, which bought those goods then at 6 billion shillings, was hoping, for instance, then the PPEs were going for 9,000 shillings, now 4,500, and perhaps KEMSA is holding the items, perhaps hoping that the price will go down and it will be able to get the funds or the money that it used to buy the items. But Mutahi Kagwe's argument was that the COVID figures are going down. There is no time that the demand will be as high as it was a few months ago. And KEMSA, instead of borrowing money from the National Treasury and the Ministry, and instead of asking that universal healthcare funds be converted and given to KEMSA to pay its suppliers, KEMSA, first of all, should sell what it is holding in its warehouse. Even before then, it can go ahead and ask for the funds. So, Grace, a lot of investigations going on from several quarters. As I mentioned, it is just 11 days to go, and we will be waiting to see what report the investigative agencies, the EACC, the DCI, and the DPP will come up with and present to the President. Grace.
Indeed, Rita, thank you so much for that detailed report there as we wait for the 11 days to see the outcome of all this, even as we also wait to see if the Vice Chair will indeed appear. Once again, thank you, Rita. Now, Education CS Professor George Magoha says it is not yet time to reopen learning institutions. Magoha has I beg your pardon.